switching things up just a little bit tonight. So here we are, back in the lounge. I'm Steve.
I'm Bob.
We're the Bourbon Brothers. This is the lounge. And as I said, we're switching things up a little bit tonight.
We are going to switch it up a bit.
We're going to talk about Switchgrass spirits. And lo and behold, we're bringing it home. Switchgrass Spirits is distilled in good old St. Louis.
St. Louis.
We reside just outside of St. Louis, so it's perfect. They have a pretty good offering, and Bob has been kind enough to make a couple selections for us. I dig that hat, by the way.
Thank you. The Castle and Key tribute here.
Yeah.
So, so I was at the, is it the St. Louis or St. Charles Barbecue Festival?
St. Charles Barbecue Festival.
St. Charles Barbecue Festival, and Switchgrass had a stand, and they were offering samples. And I can't walk by a bourbon place offering samples without stopping and having a couple tastes. And so they had 4 different kinds, 2 bourbons, 2 ryes, and naturally I walked away with a couple bottles, and so that's what we have this evening. So, Switchgrass. As Steve said, they're St. Louis. The one I'm going to be doing is the Double Oak Straight Rye Whiskey Barrel Strength. So, with this one, now Switchgrass does a lot of collaborations. And so with this particular bourbon, it started out spending 5 years in Missouri white oak barrels. And, oh, you want some? Okay.
I'm feeling thirsty.
Are you? All right, well, heaven forbid for you to be thirsty.
Boy, look how dark that is.
It is very dark.
It's like coffee. Can I drink this in the morning before I go to work?
It might get you started. I don't know.
Might get me fired.
That could be too. So after 5 years in a white oak, it's taken out, and then it spends 7 months on a secondary finish in Hungarian oak port wine casks that they got from Nobleis Vineyards. Now, Nobleis is a winery in Augusta, Missouri, and so they decided to collaborate and have that combination of an initial time spent in the white oak and then finishing up 7 months in these port wine
So before
casks.
you get to the tasting notes,
Yes.
or the nose,
Yes.
I want to just, because previously we've said how difficult it is to discern sometimes, you know, between what they write down on the bottle as far as the tasting notes, or what you see online as far as the tasting notes, and what you actually pick up. And so I already purposely had him pour me this ahead so I could get the nose of it, and I'm getting solid dark chocolate on the nose.
Mm-hmm. Now, the chocolate is very prominent.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers to you.
So what is the nose supposed to be?
The nose is wheat, corn, and chocolate.
Oh, I thought he was going to say honey or something like that. I definitely get the chocolate on the nose.
Oh,
big
yeah.
time.
Yeah, that's very prominent. All right, so 122 proof. Mashbill is 76% rye, 12% wheat, 12% malted barley.
Wild cherries.
Yeah, the
Wild cherries.
Cherries definitely come out on that.
Maybe
And the chocolate comes through on the taste as well.
maybe Maybe another. Give me a second here. There's another fruit involved too. I get the wild cherries for sure. There's another fruit involved. I don't know what, but there's something else going on there.
So dark fruit.
Plum?
Very good.
Ah.
Got the plum.
I'm refining.
You are. You are very refined, my friend. Very refined.
I'm not. I wouldn't go that far. I just say I'm refining.
Yes, on the tasting notes, dark fruit, dried cherry, plum, cherry candy, and cocoa spice.
I get wild cherry and plum. A little bit of spice for sure. Very good. And
It is very good.
so dark.
Yeah, that's a dark pour. You can tell just the difference of the two bottles sitting here, the rye and the regular bourbon, or you may not be able to tell. We can tell very easily.
Yeah, I mean, here, I'm going to get up a second. Here we have a Willet straight rye, which we've tasted previously. Let me just slide this in between these two for comparison.
Yeah, that's a huge difference between two ryes right there. Which would make sense, though, spending time in those port wine casks. That's definitely going to give it a much darker hue to it.
Tasty.
This is very nice.
I'm actually pleasantly surprised.
Well, how about
I
that?
didn't know what to expect because I've never had their spirits before, and I had no idea what to expect. It gets kind of, I know it gets kind of boring that everything we taste, we like, and maybe we just like whiskey. I don't know.
There you go. But to me, this, well, like whenever you go for a tasting, they give you these cups about so big. They give you a little splash. You really can't get much of a nose on it. And as you know, the fragrance definitely affects the taste. But it really has a different flavor profile than what I got a couple days ago at the event. And really, I like it much better tonight than what I did that day.
It's funny, I was telling Bob, I walked by that booth, vendor booth, and I thought, that might be something to try on the old Bourbon Brothers vlog. But I didn't stop. I nearly texted or called Bob, but something came up, and I'm
There you go.
shortness of, I just didn't have the thought process to complete the
That happens sometimes.
task. So I'm glad you picked it up.
I am too.
I'll be interested in seeing what the other one tastes like.
Yes. All right, so cigars tonight. Changing it up a little bit tonight. This is a Gurkah Centurion. And what's unique about this one, this is a medium-bodied Double Perfecto. And so I've already started smoking mine, but a Double Perfecto is going to taper on both ends. As you know, a regular cigar typically is straight across, so it's going to taper on both of the ends. So a little bit of a different shape to this cigar. But with this one, filler is Dominican Cuban-seed ligero, Cameroon binder, Connecticut wrapper.
Okay, wait. What are the tasting? Let me see if we can.
Okay, see if you can taste the notes there. 'Cause I need a relight here. I've been talking too much.
What I'm getting, here's my tasting notes for this cigar.
Yes.
It's easy to smoke. It tastes good. And I would buy it again.
All right, let me check that. Tastes good. Yeah, man, you're right on target on the tasting notes. You might pick up notes of spice, cedar, toast, and roasted nuts.
All right.
I'm thinking I'm picking up the roasted nuts.
I was just going to say that. As I held the smoke,
that's the one that kind of seems to stick out for me.
as I held the smoke in my mouth, I was getting roasted nuts. And I will not comment any further. And I'm sure you're glad of that.
I am. Sometimes I am glad that you are less verbose sometimes.
Sometimes less is more. Mm-hmm. I have a tendency. Never mind. We won't go.
No, you do have your tendencies. So let's leave it at that. Leave it at that with this double cask rye, finished in these port barrels. I would really like to know what their rye tasted like prior to going into the port wine barrels. Because that had to really have created a completely different flavor profile for
How
it.
long was it in the port wine barrel? 7 months?
7 months.
Interesting.
But yeah, I do like that.
That is a good
I
pour.
do like that.
That is a good pour. I would drink that again.
And you
For sure.
probably will.
Well, there's a very good likelihood that I would.
Indeed. All right. Let's move this one out of the way here. Make sure I don't knock any of those bottles down.
So, continuing with switching it up,
Indeed.
I will be discussing the Switchgrass Spirits Double Cask Straight Bourbon Whiskey, finished in strong, dark Belgian barrels. What's a strong, dark Belgian barrel?
I'm thinking a stout.
Well-built barrel?
No, a stout.
Oh, okay.
A stout beer is what I'm thinking.
So, the release on it is a limited release collaboration with Bluewood Brewing. Bluewood Brewing is a St. Louis brewery.
I had not
Small-
heard of Bluewood Brewing
Small
before.
brewery, so we're going to have to
Sorry, Bluewood.
we're going to have to find them
Yeah.
and make sure they know how much we appreciate their contribution to Switchgrass. Aged 4 years in, of course, Missouri white oak.
Of course.
Then rested an additional 6 months in stout casks. You were dead on with that. Now here's where things
That's a
vary.
heavy flavor too.
Here's where things vary just a little bit. Because as I was reading the back of the bottle, it says each hand-selected barrel was aged over 2 years in New Missouri oak casks, then rested in strong, dark, regular beer, strong, dark Belgian beer casks from Mississippi Culture. Mississippi Culture is out of Staunton, Illinois.
Okay.
The Switchgrass is distilled in St. Louis. But here is where things vary, because it says notes of chocolate-covered bananas, toffee, toasted oak, and clove. That's on the back of the bottle. On the notes that you pick up if you go online and read the tasting notes, It says the tasting notes are Bing cherries, dark chocolate, and subtle dried fruit, finishing with a hint of pepper and sweet honeyed oak. And on the nose, bready grains, dark honey, brown sugar, baking spices, and notable sweetness. So there's a little bit of a
variation. Well,
separation there, but I mean, chocolate covered bananas. How can you go wrong with that?
I know.
So let's give it a try.
But again, that just shows you how those tasting notes are going to vary depending on who's doing the tasting and who's.
So what's on the bottle is probably from the distiller.
Right.
What's on there is from somebody who, like us,
Tried it, and yeah, most of the tasting notes come
Switchgrass
from
spirits.
don't come from just a single review.
Now this one's
Usually
not
they're a
nearly
blend.
as dark
No, not at all.
in the glass as the other. Double cask straight rye.
So you got double cask straight rye and double cask straight bourbon.
So again, on the nose, bready grains, dark honey, brown sugar, baking spices, and a notable sweetness.
What's the proof on this?
Oh, I didn't even read the mash bill. 63% corn, 25% wheat, and 12% malted barley. So it's more wheaty than your normal bourbons, and it's 111 proof. I don't know what's the alcohol by volume. 55.5% alcohol by volume, so it's potent.
This drink's really smooth for 100 and, what do you say, 111 proof?
Yeah, it's got a really good nose. I like it. I get the sweetness on the nose for sure.
I really wanted to taste the chocolate banana, but I'm not getting it. Definitely getting the chocolate.
There's a overlying taste of sweetness in this.
Mm-hmm.
The chocolate, the honey, the fruit, the dried fruit. Not so much on the spice. I'm not getting a whole lot of spice on it, but there's a lot of sweetness to this. Not overwhelming sweetness.
No, I mean, it doesn't put you off.
It's not like one of those off-putting sweet drinks that you're like,
yeah,
I can't do that. But it's definitely got an overriding sweetness to it that just blends really nicely with the flavor profile. Yeah, profound difference.
It really is. I just love the fact that they collaborate with local breweries and vineyards.
I'm going to have to do a side-by-side here.
You need to.
Double cask straight rye. Switching it up, are we?
Switching it up. Mm-hmm. Now the question is, which of the two switchgrasses rises above the other one? I've got my choice.
The verdict is in.
All right. I go first?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Both very good. Both great sippers. But that rye aged in the port casks, that
100%.
takes it for me.
100%.
I mean, it just puts it a little bit over the top with those port barrels, I think.
That's why I had to go back and do another pour of the rye, because it's definitely the rye, the switchgrass rye. What is it? Double cask.
Double cask.
Switchgrass Spirits, double cask straight rye whiskey, finished in a port wine barrel strength. It's 122 proof, and it does not drink like 122 proof. What's the alcohol by volume? 61%. So again, very potent, but I mean, it doesn't drink potent. It tastes very good.
It makes me really want to go to Nobleis again. I've been there a couple times. I don't think I've ever had their port. This really makes me want to try their port and see how that is. I'm going to have to get a bottle of their port and then this rye and do the side-by-side tastings of that. Just see what it's like.
You can do that on your other vlog. That's very good.
Yeah.
Switchgrass Spirits. St. Louis.
Worth checking out.
St. Louis Distillery. So if you're in St. Louis, which probably most of you that are watching are, but even if you're not in St. Louis, come to St. Louis, check it out, Switchgrass Spirits. I'm sure they'll be more than accommodating, and
we're going to have to visit them. I've never been there.
Yeah, I want to go down there and check it out. I also want to go find Bluewood Brewing and find out what they're about and try some of their beer or whatever it is that they brew.
Yep.
Probably beer.
I bet they have a stout.
I bet they do. Very good stuff. But hey, we really appreciate you watching. You know, if you do all those things that you're supposed to, all the people say do, like, subscribe, comment, share, all those things. Yeah, do all that because it helps us. It helps the algorithm for what it's worth. Not that we're into it for that. We're into it just to have a good time. But hey, I'm Steve.
I'm Bob.
We're the Bourbon Brothers. We're here in the lounge. We appreciate you watching. See you next week.